All right, go for it.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever in the heck in the world you are. It's the one and only Be the Gorilla Economist coming to you live. And we have with us the gentlemen of the hour. These are the guys who were with us the other day. They couldn't do it because the audio was so terrible, so we had to take the show down. And, well, they're back. They're back. Why? Why are they back a second time? Well, let me explain to you why they are back a second time, because we have something uber important to tell you and share with you folks, and that is the Silverback. That is the most exciting, most powerful privacy and security operating system in the world. And I have with us the two main guys that are behind this. It's none other than Mr. X and AKA Mr. Frank Delala himself. One and only Mr. X. How are you, sir? What's going on? Let's talk about Silverback.
Yeah, really good. Thanks, V. Yeah, this is, and you're right. That's not an understatement. This is really, you're not going to find this anywhere. This is an operating system that is going to give you the most privacy. It's something new that there's even a bit of a learning curve. It's not like you just plug this in and just roll with it like you're used to. So I think that's kind of a good thing.
Yeah.
But it was worth the wait. I mean, it took us a while to finally get this out, but it's worth the wait.
Yeah. We're very excited about it. It's got it's jam packed full of incredible privacy features.
Yeah, it's actually, I like to use the word decentralized because that seems to be the theme these days, but really that's what we're looking at. So let me tell you what the actual device is. It's a USB, but this time it's not a 2.0, it's going to be a 3.0.
Wow,
which
fast.
That'll be 10 times faster, all right, than any 2.0 USB port. So it's faster though when you have a USB port for a 3.0. So for those that do, it's going to be 10 times faster.
Which all relatively new computers come with a 3.0.
Yeah, and pretty much, so, I mean, this goes along with, I mean, if we're going to market this on a 2.0, we're going to be behind in about 6 months.
Right.
So the 3.0 is going to, keep us in the running, because when y'all get your next computer, like next year or something, you'll definitely have a 3.0 on there. But in any case, this USB is designed with a couple things in mind. It's a 64 gigabyte. All right, so 64 gigabyte is quite a lot of space. And the way this is set up is it gives you what's called persistent volume. That allows you to install other applications on the device. And I'll explain why you may want to do that once you understand what we got set up here. This is an operating system that it has two parts, okay? The second part is got two parts itself. So you've got like 3-part operating system. It's all compartmentalized, and part of its focus is to get you on the dark web or get you on any part of the internet you want to be with complete anonymity. The other part of it is your desktop security. So whether or not you're on the internet, you're going to have such desktop security that, let me give you an example. Let's say you're browsing a website and all of a sudden you get one of these dreaded ransomware banners, right? Pay us $300 in Bitcoin or else you'll never see your computer alive again.
Right.
All you would do is click on the little right, the right window, right corner of the window, the X, and poof, your problems disappear. That's how compartmentalized this thing is. Operating system.
So it's like having, just to put it another way, it's almost like having an air-gapped computer inside of your computer.
Oh yeah, this is like if you were to access the internet with like 14 different computers on your desk.
Yeah.
And one computer gets attacked by a virus, just dump it in the trash and keep using the other 13.
Yeah.
That's really what this does. Yeah. So there's a word for this. It gets kind of technical, but basically we're used to using browser windows and folders. So what this uses is virtual machines. So every folder or browser window you have becomes a virtual machine. And this is so powerful that you can actually install, like, let's say you really like Windows 7 for some reason. You can run Windows 7 out of one of the virtual machines on this operating system if you want.
Wow.
So, and again, it's going to separate that risk from the rest of your computer. Is the whole idea.
Excellent.
That's epic.
Yeah. I mean, here's an example of what it looks like when you boot the thing up, and you've got a listing of, like your standard folders, like you got stuff for like photos that you take, your home photos or whatever. You got work or business related stuff. And so this is going to show up as virtual machines on your left screen, on the left part of your screen, a little icon. So you can click on it and go in there and you'll see how your folder structure is. Well, this also has a virtual machine for things like untrusted. It has one for disposable. So for example, let's say I'm just searching for something like I like to look for case law, right? Sometimes. So sometimes I run into a bunch of panhandling attorneys trying to sell me stuff, but I look at their memos on the website. So I get some data from them, right? But I get bombarded with their ads, and sometimes I get spyware. Well, if I'm using the untrusted virtual machine with this USB, and I don't care because I'm going to grab all the stuff I want and store it. And if my computer downloads something that I don't like, well, it doesn't matter anyways because I'm just going to delete that virtual machine when I'm done.
Mm.
So I can be kind of sloppy. On the other hand, if I want to be pragmatic and have some security, and maybe I like to log into my bank account. I think this is where a lot of people are going to be using this, along with their cryptos, of course. But let's say you're logging into your bank account. Or maybe you don't anymore because of the security risk. This way, you have a folder, a virtual machine to log into your bank account. You have all your security passwords and your two-factor authentication, whatever you're using, and you go into your bank records and whatever you're going to do, and you can back out of this virtual machine, this browser, this window, and erase everything you've done. Even if someone were to have, let's say, malware on your computer, and let's say the worst kind of access malware can have on your computer is root access. That means giving the malware a bird's eye view of your entire computer. If someone had malware root access to your computer, he still wouldn't be able to get your banking information if you did it this way.
That's key.
Yeah, you don't see that anywhere. There is nothing like that. I mean, for all practical purposes, software like Windows is pretty much a virus in itself. I mean, I think we've all discovered that by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the way this works is, so you create a virtual machine, and there's some defaulted ones, and you have your own, and that's why we have 64 gigabytes on the device, because you can bring an application that you like and then put it in a virtual machine. And when you do that, it's just a couple of dialog boxes, and then you allocate, you decide, you tell the computer how much RAM, how much memory is going to be used for this particular operation. And then that's all that's allocated. And that way, you'll never have a problem with different segments of your computer mixing with each other. They don't communicate very easily. Like I can't use my clipboard to easily move data from one window or one virtual machine to another. But they make it difficult because they maintain a level of security. I mean, this is a kind of security where it's not like 1024-bit encryption. Okay, that was popular in the 80s. 2024, and then you get this elliptic curve encryption, right? This is good stuff this is military grade on the gold USB, right? Mm-hmm. But this is a level of encryption that's not even involving encryption. This is a system design. It's literally not possible to backtrack your history, or even if you're on the web, you can't get the DNS. There's no DNS leak. It's impossible, and you can't track back an IP address.
That's everything.
It's not there. Yeah, that's everything. So, I mean, whether it's financial security or you just like browsing things that you don't want other people to see for whatever reason, or maybe you like running a business so that no one's going to even see what you're doing. Like maybe I want to make a bunch of money and keep it all to myself, right?
How dare you?
Yeah.
You evil man. You evil capitalist. Oh my God.
Hey, let's do something more what do you call it? Juvenile. How about I like playing Pac-Man in an old DOS box? Well, I can do that, and it's not going to mess up my computer. I can put that in a virtual machine. I can also go on social media. So if you're concerned about social media, and you know how like Google likes to connect everything, and I hate that. It's just like it just grabs all your data and just says, yeah, that's what you want to do. Okay, your name is everywhere, you know. Right. But if you want to isolate your social media, you can put that in a virtual machine. It's isolated. Wow. You could probably have several profiles, I'll bet. I haven't tried that yet.
So it would be like you're browsing in this disposable machine, so it's not every time you go back to the internet on your normal machine, you're not going to get hit by all the same ads. They're not going to know everything about what you're doing.
Oh my gosh, that's right. And you can even block all the ads.
So this could even prevent the collection of data based on your social media, so that only what you're putting in your social media is what they're collecting.
Yeah, anytime, like, you know, sometimes if you go to a site, it requires you to give up some data. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go open a virtual machine, a browser window, and I'm going to use the disposable one.
Yeah. And
I can give up whatever, and it's gone.
And you know what you're giving up, and that's all you're giving up.
Exactly, and then it doesn't exist anymore when you're done. So, and that's the thing. When you allocate some of your memory, you've isolated it in this system from any other use. So no other application on your computer can see it. So it's as if you have a really small computer, right? For each virtual machine, if you, let's say, allocate 2 gigabytes of memory, well, that's all that your computer sees for that particular virtual machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard it said this way: if you're using a service like Facebook is a great example, or anything. If you're using a service and it's for free, you are what's for sale, right? So if their service is for free, especially when it's a data collecting service like a social media thing, they're making their money by selling you. That's why it's free.
See, this makes your entire desktop completely however you want it. It's encrypted for all intents and purposes. It's encrypted, but it's the design of the software that actually makes it impossible to collect the data you don't want to give up. So so this is basically the platform, right? This is this is how you can manage your data. You kind of get the idea, the overview of how this compartmentalization is structured and how it kind of fits together. But here's a real thing. This is what really got my attention. The second operating system in here is a gateway to the internet. So specifically, this is my thing. I love going on the dark web because there's so many cool things out there that you're not going to see pretty much without really hard, searching a lot to find. But on the dark web, you can find really cool things. And I don't know what kind of stuff you're into, but the dark web is just, we need to be on the dark web. I mean, we need to do our crypto exchanges on the dark web. We need to have websites there. We need to run our back-end business on there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But look, this lets you get on the dark web. And it's the reason why I said 2-part operating system to get on the dark web is because there's one thing called a gateway that gets you on the dark web, which we've used before. We use the browser and the gold USB and you get on the dark web and this sort of thing. But what this operating system does is you have an operating system inside your core operating system that just has a compartment called a gateway. And the gateway gets you on the net and gets your data, lets you interact with the internet and whatever data you want. And then once you bring it back to your computer, it then has a workstation component where you're able to manage to do whatever you want with that data, whatever you do. So it's separate. So if you're on the dark web and someone attacked you at your computer, it's like my analogy, like I gave yesterday. I don't know if anybody got this, but my analogy is kind of like this. It's like instead of your front door in your house, you have a jail cell. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone comes to your front door and you open the front door, that's actually not the front door. That's the other side of the cage.
Mm.
So if he comes in the cage and you don't like him anymore, you can just choose to lock him in or just, let him out or call the police, but he can't get in your house because it's a jail cell. He's in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what the gateway lets you do. You're just locking out anybody from your workstation.
And you completely quarantine that threat. Completely quarantined.
It is quarantined automatically all the time.
That is where
it assumes everything's an attack.
Excellent.
Wow.
Hey,
privacy, hopefully good things.
They say, and I've seen some memes about people who are into cryptos, how like it's all we think about, which I confirm daily. It's like I saw my uncle the other day for like the first time in a long time, and I'm like, hey, you know about cryptos? so with that, he was like, no, what are you talking about? But anyway, can you talk a little bit about maybe some of the just briefly without getting too in the weeds, some implications for how you could use this to be a little safer when you're handling your cryptos?
Yeah, that's perfect. That was my next thing. Actually, I just had that on my list here. On cryptos, like for example, I think Exodus is a really good wallet. It's got I think Shapeshift or something there where you can switch between.
Yep.
Cryptos. Yeah, so you can install Exodus in a virtual machine.
Oh wow.
And it looks like you can call it whatever you want on your computer. You can call it Exodus. You can call it blah blah. It doesn't matter. And you just log in there, and you're totally isolated. So let's say you got Exodus, and then you got Mycelium on another one, or whatever. Maybe you put the whole blockchain on one. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
So you can isolate each wallet in each virtual machine, and it's protected just because of the design of the software.
Wow.
One of the big risk factors.
No one would like I run Exodus on my Mac, right? And it's pretty safe, right? But this would be infinitely more safe.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
And just as user-friendly.
Exactly. Well, it's user-friendly. It's just as user-friendly. Just remember, it's going to be a different feel. It's going to take a few minutes to try to get used to how that works because you got a little, you're not going to be able to be lazy and get some data and just copy it from the clipboard and somewhere else. It's not going to let you do that so easily.
Mm-hmm.
But so what? But you want to isolate your wallets this way. And anything else. I mean, you want to store data separately. I mean, you just use your imagination.
Mm-hmm. And you could store it. Would you be able to store it so that like the next time you plug the Silverback in, there's your Exodus wallet. It's there. It's not like you have to reinstall it every time, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying. This is formatted so it's persistent volume. So that means you can write to the device and store things. So if you put an app on there,
do it and do whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah. All your data should still be there.
Now, and I don't know the answer to this, so this isn't a leading question. This is a question.
All right.
Like, for example, if you had a problem and you had to destroy one of those machines, are you keeping your data somewhere else? Like, how does that work?
Well, it's just like anything else. You can back up each virtual machine.
Okay, so you can back up the data. So if you had to kill something,
oh yeah,
but then your data somewhere else.
Yeah, you want to back up your wallets anyways. I mean, obviously,
of course,
your wallet's just a conduit to the blockchain.
Yeah.
Right. So if you delete your wallet, all you gotta do is reinstall it. You have your seed and your password, and you're back in business.
Yeah. Excellent.
You know, it's like that example we were talking about before, where $1 million on his phone in Bitcoin, and then deletes the app on his phone, as if someone were going to look on his phone for a Bitcoin wallet, but PSA to a foreign country, and then when he gets there, he downloads the app again and reinstalls everything, and there's his money.
Yeah. I think a lot of new users don't understand that about cryptos, that the wallet is an interface to the blockchain. It's not the actual stuff, right? Like they think I had Bitcoin on my phone, and it's like, no, you didn't. You had access to the blockchain through your phone.
Exactly.
Yeah, which I think is a big confusion. I think people think they're actually storing their Bitcoins on the phone, and if something happens to the phone, the coins are gone. It just doesn't work that way.
And I remember way back
what you're storing.
And I remember way back when getting virus software. I don't know if you guys buy virus software. I mean, virus protection software. I just thought from the 90s.
I have a Mac. I don't need virus protection.
Stop making fun of us, V.
Well, but I don't know. I mean, for myself, you guys might do it, but for myself, I think that the virus software is a virus. I just don't trust it. All right. So I'm extra careful about how I do things. But this is even better. This makes it easier to be extra careful. But imagine your system is designed so that it's not subject to malware. It's not subject to a virus or spyware. I mean, not your whole system. Maybe a virtual window might be a virtual machine, or ransomware. Government agencies are probably the highest risk to ransomware, but I mean, that's not a risk anymore. Wow. Everything's so it's like these big tankers that sail across the ocean. You know, they've compartmentalized the hull like a honeycomb. So if something is punctured, it doesn't sink the whole ship. This is the same for the software.
Excellent.
You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It took me a while to switch. I was kind of scared to do this because I'm not really a tech person. I understand the basics, but I don't like to be, I'm not the guy that writes the code anymore.
Right.
But it took me a while to finally dump Windows and install Linux Ubuntu.
Why would you do such a thing? Don't you like Windows? I mean, it's great. It's like walking through a dark room while being punched.
Yeah. The lights are off. I know. So yeah. And so what I'm thinking is I may actually adopt this whole thing on my desktop in the near future, this whole operating system, and see. But because I think this is really the future. I think this is the way to go.
The future is that you and I eventually make a laptop with this loaded in there. We could do that. And
yeah, I'm already looking at the possibility if I get a supplier to possibly do that.
Thanks.
Really low cost. So
thanks, guys. I'm gonna enjoy answering those emails for the next.
Yeah.
Is the laptop ready yet? We're gonna go from daily questions. Is Silverback ready to? Is the laptop ready? Folks, we're just kidding. Ready. There's no laptop. It doesn't exist. It will never exist. They're just trying to ruin my day.
It's coming next year. It's gonna happen. X and I are gonna put it out.
And there's more, but we can't talk about that stuff because Frank will hate us forever then.
Wait till the smartphone we're developing. Then wait till that happens in the next 2 years.
Don't even
see. I'm hanging up. I quit. I'm out of here. I just sell my part to you.
Mike will be the only guy on tech support.
Yeah.
Here's a question. So, I have the same thought process with you, John, but I'm probably a lot lazier and more addicted to the convenience of my Mac and stuff like that. So for people who say, okay, I don't want to do what John did, I don't want to drop everything and eventually just run, some Linux thing on my computer. This is sort of a great way where you could do your sensitive work on the Silverback and still enjoy your normal, whatever operating system you like to use, whether it's Windows or Mac. You could use that for your everyday stuff, for answering email and that kind of stuff. But when you want to go in and maybe do banking or do some sending some cryptos around or going on the dark web, you could plug the Silverback in and have all of that security and more without giving up the convenience of like your MacBook Pro.
You said it all. You said it all. This is for those of us who are extra cautious and stick our toes in the water first. Don't just jump in. So absolutely, you just plug it in. If you don't like it, don't do it. If you're, if you take a long time to learn stuff, like it does take me a long time to learn stuff. So that's fine. I'll plug it in, play with it, take it out. Yeah.
And there is a little bit of a learning curve. We're going to be posting some stuff to help people get started with it. But I mean, it's excellent stuff. Yeah. So does this? Can you walk us through? I think we skipped this when we started, but on our first show where the audio was bad, you described the process of sort of like you take it out of the box. What happens next?
Well, it comes in a tin box like the gold USB with a little window in there. So it's a steel case with a glass crystal as a cap. So you just pull the lid off and stick it in there now.
The USB itself is steel and has a glass.
It is.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Glass and steel.
Very cool looking. Yeah.
Silverback. Yeah. So it's the same as before. You just have to change here's the technical language. You change the boot sequence on your computer. And this, all you do is get your computer to prompt you with a menu. It's like a DOS menu at the beginning. Now, some computers you have to hold down.
You're restarting your computer and plugging it in, and you just have to hold some keys down.
Yeah, you can restart your computer, and then when it boots up, you hit F10 or F11, and it prompts you for what you want to do. And then you just follow the menu prompts, and then make your computer make the USB port the priority, the first thing it looks at for the operating system.
Okay.
And then you just save your changes. It takes like 1 minute.
Yeah.
Now, I know it's difficult. I had a difficult time too, and after a while, I finally figured it out. But the hardware, it's firmware actually. It's not so much the software, but it's the computer that has the boot sequence menu. It's like, for example, Macintosh, I think you have to have, there's one application you download. What we have, it's on the site there, Frank.
Yeah, we have instructions on our site already.
Yeah, so just follow those, and all that does is let the menu come up on the Macintosh. And then for the PCs, it's just a function key, and then you change the boot sequence. And I recommend a couple of things. If you have a problem, I have a local guy here. I could just drive it to his house literally, and he'll do whatever, Or I can call some college kid to come out, and I'll buy him lunch or something. He'll do it for me, or whatever. Sometimes I recommend if you're.
I like to hang out at the vaping lounges and
hang out there. Yeah, I'm in a college town here, so I could just hang out.
Just hang out there. The first kid that drives a Subaru and vapes, that's the guy you want to get.
Exactly. Yeah, or take it back to the dealer who sold it. Like if you bought a Mac locally, just go back there, and then there's a bunch of geeks in there, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, boot sequence, that's easy. Here you go."
I can say from experience though, 99% of the people get it. They read the instructions, they plug it in, and it just works.
Yeah.
So occasionally we'll have somebody for some reason, and it's almost always a problem with their own computer, and Google's your friend. Right? You could just Google change boot sequence on
the phrase change boot sequence for my computer. I type in the name of the computer.
Dell 123 Blue 7 change boot sequence.
How did you know about my Dell, Frank? How did you know that I was using the Blue 1237?
Yeah, exactly. some awful model name that you have to dig into your.
Hey man, speaking of, I like the Dell XPS. I'm not going to front; it's great.
Is that a thing? Is that the Windows. Is the XPS the gaming machine?
No, it's their high-end MacBook competitor, which is gorgeous. It's
really?
Beautiful piece of hardware. I think hardware-wise, it blows the Mac out of the water.
You're kidding. Wow.
It's the problem with Windows is great. I think Windows 10 is a fantastic operating system. Just don't hook it up online. Just don't connect it online. Once you connect it to online, that's it, man. It's over.
Yeah, my son keeps asking for a gaming. He wants like a high power gaming PC, which is funny because like when I think he says I want a gaming PC, and what he really wants to do is play some goofy little game. But his dad hears, "Go get me something that has like lightning superpowers," So I could probably get him some like $300 thing to play the game he wants to play. But in me, I'm like searching these $2,000 things that like glow blue when you plug them in. It's a case of
So
always overdoing everything.
we could probably spend hours on the different features, but I mean, this is what people want, and they really need privacy. I mean, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it by waiting. There's no law is going to give you privacy.
Yeah.
No government office is going to give you privacy. They're always going to take it away. So you got to get it.
Yeah, and we mentioned this the other day, bringing it back to the cryptos. The one thing, and I think this probably scares people away. You shouldn't be scared. You just need to be informed and educated, like we educate people at the cryptoschool.io, the cryptoschool.io. With cryptos, you don't have JP Morgan to call when somebody uses your card. I think I shared this story on the deleted program that we did. The other night, I got an alert that I had purchased a $300 pair of boots in New York City. And I was on my couch in sweatpants watching Stranger Things with my wife.
Barney's New York.
Yeah, Barney, exactly. Barney's. And I'm like, oh man, what's this? And it was from an account that we don't even really use. So it like totally over the account was way overdrawn. Like I had like nothing in that account. I don't use it. And I'm like, oh man,
Is that the account you use for your off-track betting account that you have?
Exactly. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure my daughter didn't do this, even though she loves boots. She wouldn't even know how to do this. She's only 13. So I call up JP Morgan and I'm like, JP, what's the deal with these boots, man?
JP, it's Frank. Remember me?
Yeah, JP, it's Frank, your worst enemy. No, and of course, within a few minutes, they're we're sorry about that. We're shutting down your debit card. We'll send you a new one. They reverse the charge, so everything's cool. Here's the thing with cryptos: you're not going to get robbed and beaten by the banks, but it's your problem now. If something gets stolen from you, there's no JP Morgan Bitcoin hotline.
No.
They're not going to get it back for you. We're not going to get it back for you if it was legitimately stolen. There's just no way to do that other than find the person. And me and a couple of my cousins with a few baseball bats, we're Italian New Yorkers. We can go talk them into it. Other than that,
well, okay.
I heard you like Bitcoins. Hey, me and my brother want to have a talk with you.
I'm going to count to 3 seconds. Use better hands that Bitcoin's over.
Exactly. My point.
Hey.
My point being, the thing is, you are responsible for protecting your own information. And so that is one thing that is different with cryptos. Yes, it's decentralized, but you are now responsible for your own stuff. And so making an effort to protect your identity online in order to protect your personal finances when it comes to the world of crypto, that's all on you. And this is an incredible tool to help you do that effectively.
You need the protection. Go ahead, John.
When you're on the dark web, for example, you want to buy something. Let's say you want to buy a car. If I want to buy a car from like South Florida, I'm in Florida, I buy one from Miami. Well, I would use an escrow agent. You have those for all these cryptos and whatnot. You can use a smart contract also. You don't have to go to someone's house and beat them up, or this sounds fun, but no, I mean you can be sophisticated. You don't have to be a victim. If you're going to make a large purchase, get used to using escrow, like for some small things. And when you do something that's big, you already have your escrow agent. Set up a virtual machine for that. Buy a car there or something, whatever.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. And I don't think we gave the link yet.
No, give out the link, Frank, and let's let the people know how they can get this amazing device. I love it. I love it so much that it was named after yours truly.
Yes, it's a big honor to have such a powerful device named after the gorilla in the economist, the Silverback.
Yes.
So we're still right now. There's a very simple thing to do. Go to mygoldusb.com. That's where the Silverback is sold. So you have the option there. And here's what you got. There's not. I'll tell people this right now as a confession. There's not a ton of specific information about the Silverback on the site yet. We've got John and I have to get our heads together and update that stuff. But you can order it, okay? And we're actually running a sale right now. It's usually $329, but for the holidays, we have special holiday pricing. You can get the Silverback for $299 each, okay? So here's what you're going to do. You go to My Gold USB, and you'll see there's a link right at the top of the page. It says the Silverback is here. Click to order. When you click that or click any of the Buy Now buttons on the page, even the ones with the big gold USBs on them, You click any of them, it's going to give you an option. A little pop-up is going to say, click here to order the Silverback, click here to order the My Gold USB. And you click that and you're off to the races. It takes you to a secure checkout form. And you can order 1 or 2 of them. We have shipping for Canada, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, and China. And of course, the US. So you go, mygoldusb.com. Mygoldusb, one word, .com. And
awesome.
Very easy to get it from there.
Mr. X, your closing comments, sir.
I love to say, keep secrets.
Yes.
Love it. Love it. And you, Mr. Frank.
From now on, I would like to be known as either the Magic Man or Mike Honcho.
I like that.
No,
I'll be El Diablo. It's supposed to be some sort of fighting chicken.
Is that like a fighting chicken?
It's like a fighting chicken, bro.
My final comment is mygoldusb.com, and thanks everybody for listening.
And my final comment is, if you ain't first, you're last. With that being said, we are over and out. Take it away, El Cuco.